Namaste to all. We will see a very, very beautiful Veda mantra from Purusha Sukta. The mantra is number 20 of Yajurveda 31st chapter, which is called as Purusha Sukta. So the mantra, I have tried to explain the same mantra, I think almost 1 year back, but it is very important for us to revise whatever I have made. I think only few people have seen, and today many people are there, so it is always better to revise, and I always revise the Veda mantras. I have listened from my Acharya, then I have also read these mantras from Maharishi Dhanand Saraswati. Very beautiful, beautifully written by Maharishi in Sanskrit. I will try to explain to you in Sanskrit also what Maharishi has written. The mantra is Om Yo Devebhaya Atapati Yo Devanam Purohitah Purvo Yo Devebhayo Jato Namo Ruchaya Brahmaye. Before understanding the meaning of this mantra, we must understand who is learned of Vedas. Learned of Vedas are those people who have adopted the preachings of Vedas in life. A person who is by hearting the Veda mantras and then trying to tell in public or trying to recite again and again is not learned of Vedas. The person who has understood the secret of Vedas from his Acharya and tried to implement the knowledge of Vedas in the daily life, he is called as learned of Vedas. That means he is doing everyday worship of Almighty God. That means he is God-fearing. He understands the concept of God in the Vedas. He serves his Acharya and then he does everyday tapasya, even if he is in Grahastha ashram or Brahmacharya ashram. Those people are called as learned of Vedas. So God gives a very, very important knowledge in this mantra. Maharishi writes like this: Yaha Purnah Purusho Devebhayo Vidvadabhaya Satat Prakashartam Atapati Asamantatat Antahkarane Prakashayati Nanye Bhayascha. See, the importance of Vedas we have to understand is God never does favorism. God never does partiality. See, you see here, God says that only in the minds of the learned of Vedas I illumine the knowledge of Vedas. Only in those learned of Vedas I illumine inside their consciousness. I give the knowledge of Vedas. That means we are adopting Vedas preach in the life. We are serving the Acharya. We are listening Vedas continuously for many years. Then God will illumine our mind, and Anthaya Karana means our consciousness, our mind with the knowledge of Vedas. That means God will not do favorism just like that. That means Nanye Bhayascha, not on others. God will not do this activity on others. That means if a person is lacking tapasya, if a person is lacking Acharya Seva, if a person is lacking Brahmacharya, if a person is not adopting Vedic practices in life, God will not give this illumination, the lustre of the divine knowledge of Vedas. God will not illumine in their minds. So, many religions exist today. They say that there was a messenger, he was chosen as a messenger and God gave him the knowledge. Whereas that person, if he is having lack of tapasya, if he is not learned of Vedas, he will not get that benefit. So God's rules are applicable for everyone. So if anybody wants to attain the knowledge of Vedas inside ourselves, we should first adopt the Vedic Dharma in life. Without that, God will never reveal his knowledge to us. This is the basic fundamental which is there in this mantra. Further, Maharishi says, Yascha Devanam Vidusham Purohitah Sarvaihi Sukaihi Saha Mokshe Vidusho Dadati. God is called as, Purohitah. He is the chief priest. Almighty God is having all the knowledge of Vedas. So, God is giving the bliss of emancipation. The moksha sukh sarvaihi sukhehi saha mokshe. God is giving to those learned of Vedas, along with the Vedic knowledge, God is giving them the bliss of emancipation to those learned of Vedas because of their tapasya in life, because of their Acharya Seva, because of their, disciplined life, adopting the Vedic Dharma in life. God is giving the bliss of emancipation. And God is the benefactor. God also protects those learned people because they love Almighty God. Further, the mantra will say like that. Further, mantra says, Devebhayo Vidvadabhayo Yaha Purvaha Purvameva Sanatan Tavena Vartamanaha Sanjataha Prasiddho Asti. See, Almighty God is Sanatan. God is giving the knowledge to the learned of Vedas, including the 4 Purvashis who were created in the Amaitunis, in the non-sexual creation. God creates human beings. God gives the knowledge of Vedas even to the Purvarishis, because God is eternal. Sa yesha purvesham api guruhu kalenana vachchedat is a Yoga Sutra by Patanjali Muni. God is the first Guru because God is eternal. God is never subjected to death. Kalenana vachchedat. Similarly, the mantra says Sanatan. God is Sanatan. God is eternal. God gives the knowledge of the Vedas to the learned of Vedas because He is even present before them. And further, the mantra Maharshi beautifully writes, Tasmai ruchaya ruchikaraya brahmane namo astu yascha devebhayo vidvadabhayo brahma upadesham प्राप्य ब्रह्मरुचि ब्राह्मणो अपत्यमिव वर्तमानो अस्ति तस्मा अपि ब्राह्मये ब्रह्म सेवकाय नमो अस्तु. So this is Almighty God. God is never partial. He gives the knowledge of Vedas inside the consciousness, inside the mind of those learned of Vedas, and He is the protector of learned of Vedas. He is the benefactor, and He gives the moksha to the learned of Vedas. So we are saying here, we are doing namaste and salutations to that Almighty God who is a lovable Brahma, adorable Brahma. Brahma here means Almighty God. There are 2 meanings of Brahma. One is Almighty God, other meaning of Brahma is learned of Vedas. So Almighty God is called as Brahma. Namo Ruchaya. We are doing salutations to that Almighty God, that Brahma, not only to Him but also to those people who are serving that Brahma. Who is serving the Brahma? How can you serve your parent? For example, if your parent is giving an order, you follow that order, you are serving your parent. Similarly, God gives the order of everything in the life through Vedas. If we follow the order of Vedas, then we are serving the Almighty God. So in this mantra, we are saying we are not only doing namaste to Almighty God, we are also saying namaste to those people who are following the Almighty God, who are following the commandments of Vedas, and who are Vidwans, Rishi, Munis, Yogis, Tapasvis. And also, because of that service, because of those Vidwans who have served the Acharya, who have served the Almighty God, they love Almighty God like a child loves the parents. Like a small kid, 1 year kid, 2 year kid, they are very much attached to their parents, right? Similarly, those Vidwans are very much attached to Almighty God. That is why we are doing namaste to them. So in Vedas, there is a very clear rule. You can always do namaste. Namaste means you can do stuti of Almighty God, and you can do stuti of those people who have attained Almighty God in Samadhi, because they love Almighty God like a child who loves their parents. So Namo Ruchaya Brahmaye. This is the secret of this mantra. I think it's really wonderful mantra. I like this mantra very much. And Maharshi's Sanskrit, it's difficult to understand, but it is very, very sweet. Again and again when we listen, I read it so many times. It's very, very, very sweet. So I hope you understood the mantra. We should always worship this Almighty God, and we should do namaste, pranams, to salutations to those acharyas who love that Almighty God like a kid who loves their parents. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.